The rap game has always been about competition, dominance, and making moves that leave the industry talking for years. But right now, all eyes are on Kendrick Lamar, and the latest chapter in his legendary career has fans and critics alike buzzing. Why? Because it seems Kendrick just made Drake and the OVO camp sweat. And according to insiders, they are not taking it lightly. While Drake has long been seen as untouchable, sitting at the top with streams, awards, and collaborations stacked like trophies, Kendrick has always operated on a different level. Intense lyricism, calculated strategy, and cultural influence that hits harder than the charts can measure. What Kendrick just did isn't just another song, another subtle jab, or a hint dropped on social media. It's a move that's shaking the very foundation of OVO and forcing Drake to react. Fans are calling it a power play, a strategic strike, and for some, even a humiliation. And if you thought the tension between these two rap giants was just media hype, this latest incident proves that the rivalry is real, personal, and far from over. The fallout is massive. Online communities, Twitter threads, and TikTok reactions are exploding with debate over Kendrick's actions, dissecting lyrics, visuals, and timing for hidden meaning. People are speculating how Drake and OVO might respond, whether it's in music, interviews, or behind-the-scenes industry moves. The intrigue isn't just about ego, it's about influence, market control, and who really holds power in modern hip-hop. In this video, we're breaking down exactly what Kendrick did, why it matters, and how it's sending shockwaves through OVO and Drake's inner circle. From lyrical genius to calculated moves in the music business, you're about to see why this isn't just another moment. It's a seismic shift that has the hip-hop world talking. By the end of this story, you'll understand the strategy, the cultural implications, and the raw impact of Kendrick's latest move. Drake and OVO might be reeling, but Kendrick is rewriting the rules, and the industry is watching every second of it. Kendrick Lamar has always had a way of turning the hip-hop world upside down, and this latest move proves why he remains one of the most influential forces in the game. For years, Drake and OVO have dominated charts, playlists, and awards with a seemingly untouchable grip on the industry. But Kendrick operates differently. His influence isn't measured solely in streams or sales. It's cultural, strategic, and often calculated in ways that hit harder than any social media post or headline. The latest development shows that Kendrick isn't just making music. He's sending a message, a calculated strike that has the OVO team scrambling and Drake visibly shaken in public perception. It's the kind of move that reminds fans and critics alike why Kendrick doesn't play by the same rules as anyone else, and why his every decision reverberates far beyond the studio. The sequence of events that led to this moment is intense. Kendrick's latest release, collaborations, and public appearances weren't just coincidental. They were timed and positioned to assert dominance and create maximum impact. Industry insiders suggest that he intentionally aligned his releases with moments that would force Drake and OVO to react, creating a ripple effect of tension, speculation, and online debate. For Kendrick, it's more than a flex, it's strategy. By playing the long game, he's ensuring that his influence is not just heard in the music itself but felt across the entire hip-hop ecosystem. Every lyric, every interview, every stage appearance is part of a broader narrative that Drake and OVO now have to contend with. And for a brand like OVO, which thrives on public perception and control, this is a shakeup they can't ignore. Fans immediately notice the subtle yet powerful signals in Kendrick's latest moves. Lyrics that seemed innocuous on the surface carried hidden jabs, visuals hinted at dominance, and the timing of his releases appeared designed to overshadow anything Drake had in the works. Social media erupted as fans dissected every bar, every beat, every metaphor. Threads on Twitter and TikTok exploded with speculation about what Kendrick was trying to accomplish, and analysts debated whether this was the beginning of a full-on lyrical war or psychological play meant to disrupt OVO's narrative. The reaction was global. Hip-hop forums, music blogs, and fan communities lit up as people tried to make sense of Kendrick's calculated power play. Drake and the OVO camp reportedly weren't caught completely off guard, but they were forced into reaction mode, which isn't where a brand like theirs wants to be. OVO's strategy has historically been about control. Controlling drops, controlling narratives, controlling the way the public perceives Drake. But Kendrick's maneuver disrupted that equilibrium. By asserting dominance through timing, messaging, and cultural influence, Kendrick put OVO in a position where any response, even a subtle one, would be analyzed, debated, and potentially backfire. This isn't just about ego. It's about influence, perception, and the unspoken hierarchy of modern hip-hop. And right now, Kendrick has the upper hand. The real genius of Kendrick's strategy lies in its subtlety. He didn't need to call anyone out directly or start a public feud to make his point. Instead, he leveraged his artistry, reputation, and cultural capital to create a situation where Drake and OVO were forced to react, publicly or privately. Fans and industry insiders are already calling it a masterclass in influence, a move that combines music, media, and cultural strategy into one seamless play. Kendrick didn't just release a song. He orchestrated an event that sent ripples across the industry, forcing even one of the biggest names in hip-hop to reassess his position and strategy. And while the public watches, debates, and speculates, the impact is real. Drake and OVO are feeling the pressure, and Kendrick's dominance has never been clearer. What makes Kendrick's latest move so devastating for Drake and the OVO camp is the level of precision and timing involved. Unlike typical rap beefs or competitive moments in hip-hop, Kendrick isn't just reacting, he's orchestrating. Industry insiders have pointed out that every single element of his recent releases was strategically positioned to hit while Drake was busy managing his own projects and public image. For a brand like OVO, which thrives on maintaining dominance, public perception is everything. Kendrick's maneuver disrupted the carefully curated image Drake has built over the past decade, creating a ripple effect that is being felt not just in music charts, but in sponsorships, collaborations, and the overall narrative of influence. What seems like a single release to the casual observer is, in fact, a calculated strike on multiple fronts. The lyrics in Kendrick's latest work have fans dissecting every line, trying to interpret hidden messages or subtle jabs. Some bars appear to reference industry dynamics, OVO's strategy, and even the way Drake manages his team and his public persona. While Kendrick never directly calls anyone out, the insinuations are clear to those who follow the industry close. Every punch, every metaphor, and every cadence has the potential to undermine confidence and assert superiority. For Drake, whose influence has long been maintained through carefully timed releases and a controlled narrative, these subtle moves by Kendrick are deeply destabilizing. Fans are calling it a masterclass in indirect power play, showing how strategic timing, cultural influence, and lyrical skill can reshape public perception in ways that charts alone can't measure. The fallout on social media has been immediate and intense. Twitter threads, TikTok reactions, Instagram posts, and fan forums exploded within hours of Kendrick's drop. Some fans celebrated the move as a long-overdue shakeup in the industry, praising Kendrick for his artistry and strategic thinking. Others speculated about Drake's next steps, questioning whether he would respond publicly or attempt a more subtle, behind-the-scenes maneuver to reclaim dominance. In both scenarios, Kendrick's position as the disruptor puts him at a significant advantage. The timing, messaging, and cultural resonance of his actions have forced the OVO camp to pause, assess, and carefully strategize, which in itself is a victory for Kendrick. The reaction shows just how far-reaching his influence is. His moves don't just affect charts. They affect the strategies of one of the biggest brands in hip-hop. Inside the industry, executives, collaborators, and even competitors are watching the unfolding events closely. Kendrick's ability to manipulate timing and perception has become a case study in modern hip-hop strategy. By creating pressure points that force Drake and OVO into reaction mode, Kendrick is not only asserting artistic dominance but also shaping the business landscape. Collaborators who previously operated within OVO's orbit are reportedly reassessing alliances, and brands that partner with Drake are taking note of the shifting energy. It's a reminder that in today's music industry, influence isn't just about music. It's about timing, perception, and control of the narrative. Kendrick's move demonstrates that a single artist, armed with talent, insight, and strategic thinking, can disrupt even the most established structures in the industry. Finally, the psychological impact of this maneuver cannot be understated. Drake and the OVO team, long accustomed to dictating the tempo and narrative of hip-hop, are suddenly in a position where they have to react, adjust, and navigate a situation that was deliberately engineered to challenge their dominance. Even without direct confrontation, Kendrick has forced them to reassess, recalibrate, and perhaps even rethink their approach to releases, collaborations, and public messaging. This isn't just about one song or one moment. It's about asserting authority, control, and long-term influence over the culture itself. And while fans debate the lyrics, analysts dissect the strategy, and social media explodes, Kendrick quietly solidifies his position as the artist who can move the industry and leave even the most untouchable figures feeling off balance. The impact of Kendrick's move goes beyond the music itself. It's sending shockwaves through the entire hip-hop industry. Drake has long been considered untouchable, a figure whose influence stretches across streaming platforms, collaborations, and even pop culture at large. OVO has built a brand around control, precision, and dominance. But Kendrick's latest maneuver disrupted that carefully cultivated image. The subtlety of his approach is what makes it so powerful. He didn't need to start a public feud or release a diss track. Instead, he used timing, cultural awareness, and lyrical craftsmanship to assert dominance. For the first time in years, fans are questioning whether Drake's position at the top is as secure as it seemed, and the ripple effect is spreading through the industry like wildfire. Industry insiders are already commenting on the psychological impact this has had on the OVO camp. Being forced into reaction mode is a position no powerhouse likes to occupy. Reports suggest that the team is scrambling, analyzing every lyric, every move, and every public statement by Kendrick to determine if a response is necessary and how it should be executed. This kind of pressure is unprecedented for a figure like Drake, who has historically operated from a place of control. Kendrick's strategy has flipped the script, forcing the dominant player in the room to step back and reassess. In doing so, is not just making waves musically, is shaking up power dynamics, industry alliances, and even the way executives think about marketing, timing, and influence. Social media has exploded with reactions, amplifying the tension and creating a real-time public spectacle. Fans and analysts alike are dissecting Kendrick's every word, video frame, and Instagram post for hidden meaning or subtle jabs aimed at Drake and OVO. Hashtags are trending, fan debates rage across platforms, and TikTok users are creating viral content analyzing what this means for the power structure of hip-hop. For Kendrick, the brilliance of this move lies in its ability to influence perception without direct confrontation. He's forced OVO to operate under intense scrutiny while simultaneously dominating the narrative. In many ways, this is a modern masterclass in cultural strategy. Influence achieved not through aggression, but through calculated timing, skill, and psychological pressure. The ripple effect is also being felt behind the scenes. Collaborators, producers, and artists who have historically been associated with OVO are reportedly reconsidering their approach. The shift in energy created by Kendrick's move is making people rethink alignments, partnerships, and potential future collaborations. Even brands that have invested in Drake's image are paying close attention, as public perception can directly influence marketability and sales. What Kendrick has accomplished is more than a musical statement. It's a disruption of the ecosystem that supports one of the most dominant figures in modern music. His ability to shift power without a direct attack is what sets him apart, and why this story is dominating headlines and social media discussions alike. Ultimately, Kendrick's latest maneuver is a reminder of why he remains one of the most respected and feared figures in hip-hop. While Drake and OVO have long dominated the narrative, Kendrick's strategic, subtle, and culturally impactful actions have forced them into uncharted territory. The psychological, social, and industry-wide consequences are immense, leaving fans, insiders, and the media scrambling to interpret the fallout. This isn't just about a momentary rivalry. It's about redefining influence, asserting dominance in the most calculated way and demonstrating that even the biggest names in the game are vulnerable to a masterful display of strategy and skill. As this saga continues, the hip-hop world watches with bated breath to see how Drake and OVO will respond, and whether Kendrick's calculated disruption will permanently shift the balance of power in the industry. As the fallout from Kendrick's latest maneuver spreads, the pressure on Drake and OVO has intensified to unprecedented levels. For years, OVO has thrived on control, timing releases, crafting narratives, and maintaining dominance in the industry. But Kendrick's move disrupted that equilibrium. Suddenly, Drake finds himself reacting to someone else's agenda rather than dictating the terms himself. This is a rare position for an artist of his stature, and insiders suggest that it's causing tension not just in the public eye, but behind the scenes in boardrooms, studios, and strategy meetings. Every lyric, every video frame, and every public appearance from Kendrick forces Drake to reassess, recalibrate, and carefully consider the next steps, creating a level of strategic stress that is rarely seen in modern hip-hop. The subtlety of Kendrick's approach is key to its impact. Unlike traditional feuds that rely on overt disses, social media posts, or public statements, Kendrick's strategy leveraged timing, cultural awareness, and lyrical nuance. By aligning his releases and public appearances with key moments in Drake's schedule, Kendrick has created a situation where the OVO brand is compelled to respond, even if indirectly. This kind of psychological pressure is difficult to measure, but incredibly effective. It disrupts the opponent's focus and forces them into a defensive posture. For Drake, this is particularly significant because his career has long been defined by precise execution and strategic control over every aspect of his public image. Fans have reacted in droves, dissecting every possible layer of Kendrick's move. Social media platforms have become battlegrounds of speculation, with threads analyzing lyrics, music videos, and subtle cues in public appearances. TikTok trends are rife with theories about the implied messages and power plays, while Twitter debates rage over who truly holds influence in the modern rap hierarchy. For many, this isn't just entertainment. It's a masterclass in strategy and cultural influence. Kendrick has managed to turn a single release into a full-scale industry disruption, demonstrating that his moves are calculated, impactful, and far-reaching. Inside the industry, the reactions have been equally telling. Collaborators, executives, and producers who traditionally worked closely with OVO are reportedly reassessing alliances and future projects. The shift in perceived power dynamics affects everything from potential collaborations to sponsorship deals and media coverage. Kendrick's strategic disruption has created uncertainty, forcing even established players to rethink their positions. This is the kind of influence that goes beyond streams or awards. It reshapes relationships, decisions, and the overall landscape of hip-hop culture. The ripple effect is so profound that it's causing some insiders to whisper that Kendrick may have permanently shifted the balance of power in the industry. At the heart of all this is the undeniable genius of Kendrick Lamar. He has not just released music. He has engineered a cultural and psychological event that challenges one of the most dominant figures in hip-hop. Drake and OVO are forced to operate in a reactionary space, while Kendrick moves with calculated precision, controlling the narrative and keeping the industry on edge. The combination of artistry, timing, and strategic insight shows why Kendrick is regarded not just as a rapper, but as a visionary and cultural force. Fans, media, and industry insiders alike are captivated, watching every development closely to see how Drake and OVO respond, and whether Kendrick's disruption will have lasting effects that redefine influence, power, and dominance in the modern music scene. As the drama escalates, the tension between Kendrick and Drake has become impossible to ignore. What started as subtle strategy has now evolved into a full-blown cultural event that has the entire hip-hop world watching. Kendrick didn't just disrupt OVO's dominance. He exposed cracks in the armor of one of the biggest brands in music. The brilliance lies in the indirect approach. No diss tracks, no social media calls, just timing, lyrical precision, and calculated releases that forced Drake and his team into a constant state of reaction. For fans and insiders, This is a game-changing moment, a demonstration of how influence, perception, and artistry intersect in ways that few can master. Kendrick has effectively created a scenario where Drake and OVO are on defense, and the industry can't stop analyzing every potential ripple effect. The pressure on Drake is multi-layered. Beyond the music, it's about public perception, brand image, and even internal dynamics within OVO. Insiders suggest that his team is under immense stress, attempting to strategize responses while also maintaining appearances and controlling the narrative. This is challenging because Kendrick's moves are subtle yet powerful, forcing Drake into reactionary decisions where every action is scrutinized. Even a misstep or poorly timed response could be perceived as weakness, giving Kendrick a psychological edge. The tension isn't just on the charts, it's in boardrooms, marketing plans, interviews, and collaborations. Every corner of Drake's empire is feeling the impact of Kendrick's calculated disruption. Meanwhile, social media has exploded, amplifying the stakes and making this moment feel larger than life. Fans dissect lyrics, compare release schedules, and create viral theories about Kendrick's intentions. Hashtags trend, reaction videos go viral, and TikTok explodes with memes and debates. In this environment, the narrative spreads faster than ever, and Kendrick's strategic advantage grows. He has effectively controlled the story without a word of confrontation, letting fans, analysts, and the media interpret the events in ways that emphasize his dominance. This is modern power in hip-hop, influence that transcends music, shaping perception, culture, and even the competitive landscape itself. Industry insiders are taking note too. Collaborators and partners who have historically worked with OVO are reportedly reassessing their alliances and plans, recognizing the shift in influence that Kendrick has created. Sponsorship deals, collaborations, and media coverage are now subject to heightened scrutiny, as brands and executives attempt to gauge how the changing narrative may affect their investments. Kendrick's subtle yet devastating move has become a case study in influence and strategy, showing how an artist can shift power dynamics without engaging in direct conflict. It's a masterclass in timing, psychological insight, and cultural awareness, and it has the entire industry watching closely to see what comes next. Ultimately, Kendrick's actions highlight the intersection of artistry, strategy, and dominance in hip-hop. Drake and OVO, for the first time in years, are operating in a reactive space, forced to contend with a rival who has orchestrated a cultural and psychological event rather than just a musical one. Fans, media, and insiders are all captivated, dissecting every detail, anticipating responses, and debating implications. This isn't just a rivalry. It's a demonstration of how influence can be wielded with precision, subtlety, and long-term effect. As the dust settles, one thing is clear. Kendrick has shifted the balance of power, leaving Drake and OVO scrambling, and the hip-hop world will never look at dominance the same way again. Kendrick Lamar just changed the game, and the ripple effects are massive. Drake and OVO have long been considered untouchable, but Kendrick's latest moves show that even the biggest names in hip-hop aren't immune to strategic disruption. From subtle lyrics to perfectly timed releases, Kendrick has forced the industry's elite to react, shifting power and rewriting the narrative. Fans are dissecting every bar, analysts are debating every move, and social media is exploding with reactions. This isn't just a feud, it's a masterclass in influence, timing, and cultural dominance. If you want to stay ahead of this drama, catch every update, and see how Kendrick's actions continue to shake the hip-hop world, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and join the conversation. Trust us, this is a story that's far from over, and every move from Kendrick or OVO could change the industry forever.